What are some of the terms that you tend to have to negotiate on a land deal?
So we keep it
And what type of due diligence do you need?
Yeah, and that's a great question. What I do and the way we teach it is when they reach back out, we have a 4 point checklist we want to do. Make sure we have access, right? Is it legal? Is it physical? Can we see that it's a maintained road getting me onto the property? Boom, real quick. Secondly, I'm checking a topography. Is it a side of a cliff? Is it a flood zone? Is it a wetland? What does that look like? Third, from there, we want to make sure we're talking to the owners. That's real quick look at we're actually dealing with the people that are on title. And then third, is there money in this deal? If we offered them 10 grand, what is it worth? Is it worth 12 grand or is it worth 100 grand? What does that number look like? We check those four things. We're negotiating with them. We know, hey, the property's worth 50 grand. I offered them 10. They want 15. I can make that deal work. And these aren't high numbers. So that's a lot of people in the institutional side, they go, oh, why would you even waste your time with that? But when you can sell one or two a week that you're making $20,000 to $30,000 profit on, you've got low risk because you don't have all your eggs in one basket and you're continually turning that money. Because we look at about 135% ROI, money in, money out. It's about 100 days. So if every 100 days you're over doubling your money, you just keep it turning, keep it cycling.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when you say making sure the land is accessible, making sure it's got a road, and my guess is water, sewer, utilities, they're non-existent on these types of properties.
Yeah. And so when we talk about the recreational property, we don't have to worry about that. That's why we're doing that 10 and 12 acres and above to 200 or to 100 acres is if somebody wants to live out there, they can get septic and a well. That's not a problem, but it takes that risk out. Like if I was going to look for a lot for a multifamily, I'd want there to be utilities. Yeah. I'd want there to be the water, the sewer system there. I'd want to make sure the city didn't have a moratorium of any sorts to keep me from building it. Because I have bought a multifamily lot next to an apartment complex, 3 acres, ready to go. We got it for a still. We thought we were going to sell it as a multifamily property. It's ready zoned, ground ready. County, everything looked good. City had a moratorium on sewer hookups for 7 years. And so we weren't able to build off of it.
Okay, let me tell everybody here what Justin's talking about as far as the moratorium, because one of the first parcels of land I purchased, and the broker never told me this, is it had a 3 years left on a 5-year moratorium. Mm-hmm. And you think, what? I'm like in the city. Why can't I build? I mean, what's going on? They had just paved the road. And the city likes to keep the road pristine for 5 years. So I can't cut curbs. I can't cut into it. I got to wait until the moratorium is done, or I can claim a hardship and they will, 3 out of the 5 votes on the Board of Public Works will allow me to cut into it. But during that moratorium period, if I get a hardship provision, they tell me that I've got to cut 20 feet in each direction, which I don't usually have to do. And then I've got to pave all of that. So because even though I'm getting the hardship in the moratorium phase, it's going to cost me more money than usual. So this moratorium thing is real. And trust me, folks, the broker doesn't have to disclose it because, hey, I didn't know. You're supposed to go figure it out on your own. Well, I found out the hard way. Fortunately, it was only a 3-year moratorium for me. You had a 7-year moratorium.
And we ended up flipping the property to the neighbor who owned the apartment complex for a 30% profit. But he understood the moratorium and he knew that, hey, I'm holding this as a hold asset for me. Why not have more ground ready to build on when it's lifted? So that it was a smart move by him. Everybody won in that situation. It wasn't what we thought was going to be a 100, 200% return on investment, but it was a 30% in about 4 months. So, I mean, it wasn't a horrible deal, but for us, it was kind of one of those things. It was eye-opening.